And this is the Supreme Court building in downtown New York City. When you have a dynamic setting like in a big city, for example, I used New York, I used Washington, I used Paris, if you span the two books. And I think an author who is comfortable in his or her environment makes the reader comfortable in the environment. Conversely, if you know where the threats are in a city, where the dangerous neighborhoods are, you can really work with that in your writing. In The Copper Bracelet, I know that neighborhood in Paris really well. In fact, I know that hotel really well. And it was just the perfect setting. If you know that hotel, it's a small boutique hotel, and yet it's right around the corner from some of the most expensive hotels in the world. And the fact that she leaves that little hotel and goes to the expensive one to have her breakfast, just to get outside of her own thinking for a few minutes. And she's revealed in the story by the fact that she's obviously an American. She opens up an American newspaper. She speaks to the waiter in English. And you realize that you realize something she doesn't realize, that she's telling everybody who she is, even though she's trying to hide. So what I tried to do in both chapters was put somebody in a setting where they were either going to be completely comfortable or completely uncomfortable by it. In the first book, it's a rather tranquil setting when an act of violence occurs. Even though there's a big threat ongoing, when there's an act of violence, I think it's unexpected. In the second book, I wanted to have a character who had been devastated in the first book, depicted as trying to recover. And in this period of being part of herself, withdrawing into herself, trying to figure out what's going on with the world around her, to have her put under an external threat that she does not recognize up to that point. And I would say that those are pretty typical of my writing. Those are pretty much the kind of things I like to explore when I write.